Here we go!
Grab your headphones, plug in tight, press start, no pause, it's a podcast night. From the 8-bit worlds to the anime skies, Dark Matter D-pad keeps the passion alive. Dark Matter D-pad is the place to be, where gamers and dreamers find synergy. TCN and K-Dog, they're leading the way, from Mushroom Kingdom nights to Hyrule days. Dark Matter D-pad.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dark Matter D-Pad episode 10. Today, we're going to be talking about two smash hit games. One came out in 2017, and one just came out recently.
The big banana baboon Donkey Kong finally has a brand new game on Nintendo Switch 2, and it's a brand new 3D game, which is even better, considering we haven't seen a new 3D Donkey Kong since 1999 on the Nintendo 64. With Donkey Kong Bananza being out for 1 month today, we decided now would be a great time to compare Bananza and Odyssey, considering both games are made by the same team. We will be diving into spoilers for Donkey Kong Bananza, but we will give a spoiler warning just in case you don't want it spoiled for you. Development for Donkey Kong Bananza started shortly after the release of Super Mario Odyssey. Funny enough, a technical experiment of putting the hands of Knuckletech from Super Mario Odyssey on a Goomba led to the destruction mechanic being used in Donkey Kong Bananza. You can actually find footage of that online. It's pretty entertaining. Another cool detail is that the ending of Super Mario Odyssey is Bowser smashing through the moon while Peach rides on his shoulder. Donkey Kong Bananza is that exact concept expanded into a full game. First, let's talk about gameplay. Bananza and Odyssey are very similar, but they are also very different. In both games, you play as the main character, Mario and Donkey Kong respectively, who is accompanied by a partner with a unique ability. For Mario, it's Cappy, and for Donkey Kong, it's Pauline. You explore the world chasing after a specific villain that has stolen something important to the main character. One of the main differences is that in Odyssey, you explore the surface, and in Bananza, you explore the underground. In Mario Odyssey, you can explore 17 different kingdoms. And small spoiler alert, in Donkey Kong Bananza, you can also explore 17 unique layers. So each game has 17 areas for you to just run around and explore. Both games are visually stunning, and it's very easy to get lost in the beauty of each area, and all of these areas are unique. One thing I love about Bananza is that it didn't feel like a direct copy and paste of Odyssey. They have beautiful cutscenes and the music. Oh, don't get me started on the music. The soundtracks for both games just make you ascend. In my personal opinion, Breaking Through is better than Jump Up Superstar, but what do you think?
Not that I'm saying Breaking Through is a bad song, but I do like Jump Up Superstar.
That is totally fair. They are both amazing songs.
Yeah, and both songs, they both have, some kind of different feel. I feel like Mario Odyssey was a little more symphonic in its music, a little more jazzy, but with DK, it was like a full-blown concert. Just music with different genres, too, may I remind you.
And whoever Pauline's voice actress is, you need to win an award for that.
Exactly.
One thing I love about both games is how expressive the characters are. Nintendo really went all out with the facial animations. Both characters have multiple moves you can use to get around. Whether it's rolling, spin jumping, long jumping, they both have similarities in their movesets. Although, one of the major changes in Bananza is that Donkey Kong has several different movesets that can be used, thanks to the Bananza powers. Small spoiler warning. There are 5 different Bananza powers you can unlock: Kong, Zebra, Ostrich, Elephant, and Snake. The Bananza powers can really help in certain areas where one skill is needed more than another. Kong Bananza is best for strength, Zebra for speed, Ostrich for flight and aerial attacks, Elephant for sucking up and manipulating terrain, and Snake is best for jumping and using slow motion to make your environment a little easier to navigate. All of these Bananza powers have a unique song that Pauline sings while the Bananza is activated, and each song is a banger.
Just the elephant one is such a banger, though. I don't know why.
Elephant's my favorite, too.
Pauline does get a little more confident as the game goes on. She starts off really nervous and scared to sing in front of everyone. But then when she gets to the Snake Bananza, she's like, "Oh, yo, give me a beat." And it's just so cool to watch.
Yeah, the character development with Pauline is beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Each of the Bananza powers is taught to you by an elder of the specific animal. For example, the Kong elder teaches you the Kong Bananza, the Zebra elder teaches you the Zebra Bananza, and so on and so forth. With Mario Odyssey, you can use Cappy to change your form and possess a specific object or enemy, and you can use its ability to your advantage. This definitely gives Mario a bunch of unique movesets you can play around with. Bananza has 5 different Bananza powers, and Odyssey has 52 different enemies, objects you can capture with Cappy. Let's talk about collection. In Odyssey, you collect Power Moons, and in Bananza, you collect Banandium Gems. Super Mario Odyssey has a total of 999 Power Moons. There are 880 unique moons, and you have to buy the remaining 119 to fully complete the game. Same goes for Donkey Kong Bananza. And another small spoiler warning. In Bananza, there are a total of 1,000 Banandium Gems to collect. 777 unique Banandium Gems, then once again you have to buy the remaining 223 to complete the game. While Bananza has more banana gems than Odyssey has moons, Odyssey has more unique moons than Bananza has unique Banandium gems. Moving on to the side collections, in Mario Odyssey you can collect purple currency to purchase costumes and souvenirs for the Odyssey. Odyssey has a total of 1,000 purple coins to collect across all 17 kingdoms. There are also 42 outfits, 41 caps, and 82 different music tracks to collect. There are also DLC outfits and caps, which brings the total amount up to 55 caps and 55 outfits. But only the original 42 outfits and 41 caps count toward the 100% completion. You can collect most of the music while just playing through the game, but some of the music tracks require interactions with Musical Toad, who appears in various kingdoms after the main story is completed. Now talking about the collection for Donkey Kong Bananza. So again, spoiler warning. You need to collect a total of 696 fossils across all 17 layers. These fossils are used to purchase breeches, ties, and fur colors for Donkey Kong and outfits for Pauline. For Donkey Kong, there are 17 sets of breeches, 10 ties, 37 fur colors, as well as 1 helmet. For Pauline, there are 27 outfits. There are also 110 music discs to be collected. The music collection is a bit more interesting than it was in Odyssey. You can collect discs from defeating enemies, but you can only collect discs from music that you've heard while playing throughout the game. There are some music discs that require you to complete a challenge in the post-game, but we'll talk a bit more about that later. While we've talked about the unique currency for each kingdom/layer, what about just normal coins and gold? In Odyssey, you can use normal coins to buy Power Moons, Life Up Hearts, outfits, and caps. In Bananza, you can use normal gold to buy apple juice, melon juice, balloons, and maps for fossils and Banandium gems. But there is also an additional type of currency called Banandium chips. These are used to purchase Banandium gems. They can also purchase music discs in the post-game, but in our opinion, it's much more enjoyable to beat the living shit out of enemies and collect the music discs that way. Now, when I first saw the Banandium chips in the Direct, I started to have a panic attack because I thought they were the same thing as the blue coins from Super Mario Sunshine. Thankfully, I was able to cancel my therapy session and learn that they are not the same thing. You can also use Amiibo to collect outfits in both games. 10 different outfits/caps can be unlocked by Amiibos in Super Mario Odyssey, and only 1 outfit can be unlocked by an Amiibo in Donkey Kong Bananza. Next, let's talk about the main villains of the games. Major spoiler warning for DK Bananza. In Super Mario Odyssey, the main villain is obviously Bowser. He steals Princess Peach and intends to marry her. He also travels to multiple kingdoms to steal their prized possessions to use for the wedding. In Donkey Kong Bananza, the main villain seems to be Void Company, but it ends up being King K. Rool. That's right. King K. Rool is back in action. K. Rool is the final boss in Donkey Kong Bananza, and I'm honestly shocked at how Nintendo was able to keep this a secret. We were both lucky enough to where it wasn't spoiled for us, and I know some people were very unlucky that it got spoiled for them early. I would have crashed out if K. Rool's return was spoiled for me.
Oh, yeah.
And what I love is that it actually explains why K. Rool hasn't appeared in a Donkey Kong game for quite a while. He and the Kremling crew were all trapped in the planet core, and it was Pauline's singing that released him. His return was done so beautifully. Definitely one of the best villain comebacks I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
K. Rool's end goal is to take control of the Banandium root, turn the whole world into banana mush, then eat everything. Now let's compare the final boss fight from each game. With Bowser, you fight him one time in the Cloud Kingdom before fighting him on the moon. Then after collecting all 999 moons, you unlock a harder version of the final boss fight. The final boss fight is the same each time. He jumps across the battlefield, then throws his hat at you. You then have to put his hat on, which is equipped with boxing gloves. Then you can punch or dodge obstacles that he throws at you. Then go Mike Tyson on his ass. Once you defeat Bowser, you fall deeper into the moon. Bowser is knocked unconscious, so you'll have to capture him and use his strength and fire to escape. Once making it safely, Mario and Bowser both propose to Peach. Peach rejects both of them and leaves their asses on the moon. Don't get me wrong, it's a good fight. But with all 3 times you fight him, it's the same thing. There isn't that many differences across the 3 times you fight Bowser. Now, talking about Bananza's final boss, I will give you another spoiler warning, but if you've made it this far, you already know K. Rool is in the game, so it's up to you. In Bananza, it is a very different scenario. You first fight King K. Rool at the planet core. He uses the Banandium root to have more of a banana-ish look. He looks somewhat like a Bananza Elder, actually.
Yeah.
He mainly shoots cannonballs at you, but he also tries to bitch slap you with giant hands made out of banana mush. After you've defeated him, Pauline and Donkey Kong make their wish to the Banandium root. The Banandium root then proceeds to take them to the surface. While the pair are heading to the surface, and just like in the original Donkey Kong Country, we get some fake credits where all the C's are replaced with K's, and a new remix of Gangplank Galleon replays in the background. After the fake credits finish, K. Rool wakes up, throws on his propeller pack, and chases after DK and Pauline. You then have to fight K. Rool again while riding the Banandium route to the surface. K. Rool will dash at you, trying to destroy the terrain you're standing on. You can either dodge the attack or counterattack by yeeting gold chunks at him. Once you get closer to the surface, K. Rool flies off and captures the Banandium root. You fly out of the ground to find you've made it to New Donk City, Pauline's home. After landing, you'll find K. Rool has once again taken control of the Banandium root, and he uses it to cover the entire city in banana lava, I'm assuming that is?
Yeah, so he's like covering it in like some kind of banana magma or something.
You then have to run through the city fighting off the Kremlin crew, which will eventually lead you to a giant green crocodile-themed boxing ring where you'll face off against King K. Rool for the final time. K. Rool turns into a rotten banana mush monster, and his design is absolutely sick.
Fit for a king, even.
The fight is very similar to when you fight K. Rool in the planet core, but it's much more difficult, and K. Rool has new moves that he throws at you. Once you defeat K. Rool, the cities return to normal. Pauline decides to follow her dream, and Donkey Kong goes back to the underground to eat more bananas. Now, talking about the fight specifically, K. Rool's fight is much better than Bowser's fight. The difficulty, the music, the puzzle solving, and the hype leading up to the fight, everything is just done so much better. Comparing K. Rool and Bowser, not based on their final boss fights, but just as villains, K. Rool once again reigns supreme over Bowser, and honestly, it wasn't much of a competition.
Yeah.
K. Rool is so much more of a threat in Bananza than Bowser is in Odyssey. I mean, K. Rool wanted to turn the whole world into rotten banana mush, then devour it. Like, that's some S-tier villain shit right there.
Oh, yeah.
Bowser just wanted marriage. I mean, yeah, he wanted to rule the world with Peach, but that was a perk. He was more interested in marrying Peach. He mainly just wanted Princess Booty.
But K. Rool, on the other hand, no, he wanted the world dead.
He wanted to go nom 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 on the world.
He wanted to basically become Galactus.
Pretty much. Odyssey was not Bowser at his best. However, I think this was definitely K. Rool at his best. Now, we are specifically comparing Odyssey Bowser to Bananza K. Rool. If we were to compare, say, Galaxy Bowser to Bananza K. Rool, I'd say that Bowser wins by a decent amount, and that's where I believe Bowser was at his best. I mean, the dude stole an entire castle using an army of airships and a UFO, brought the castle to the center of the universe to use as his base, then stole all the power stars and grand stars to power his galaxy reactor. He then created his own galaxy in order to conquer the entire universe. Like, goddamn, Galaxy Bowser was a menace.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm getting sidetracked. The final battle from Donkey Kong Bananza was definitely one of the best final battles I've ever played in a game. And the ending was absolutely amazing. When the credits were rolling, I didn't really say anything. I just sat there in absolute awe with a huge smile on my face.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully we'll do that with the next Mario game.
The game was definitely a love letter to the Donkey Kong community, and kind of felt like Nintendo was telling us we haven't forgotten about DK and we still deeply care about the franchise. So now let's talk about some of the negative differences between the games. And honestly, I can really only think of one. In Mario Odyssey, every time you collected a moon, your health was restored. That is not the case in Bananza. You can only recover health by sleeping in a getaway or eating some apples/drinking apple juice. But that's really my only complaint with Bananza. And it's not even a big issue. It would be nice to have, but it's nowhere near a deal breaker.
Yeah.
Some negatives I had for Odyssey is that there isn't a good story for the post-game. Nintendo did the post-game for Bananza a lot better than Odyssey, but we'll go into more detail about that in a bit. Another negative are some of the bosses. All of the bosses in Odyssey are pretty easy and very repetitive. You fight the Brutals a lot in Odyssey, and I think they were overused a bit.
Yeah.
The hardest boss in Odyssey was probably the rematch with the Lord of Lightning.
I don't even know how Bowser even got a dragon. Bro went to Dark Souls and I'm like, hey, can I borrow that? Sure.
Bananza was a bit like this as well. All of the bosses were relatively easy except for the final boss against K-Rool. That was the only one I really struggled with, but they were all unique. I didn't really feel that repetitiveness. Yeah. We can really appreciate that Nintendo improved on that.
The one negative I really did have with Odyssey was like, well, like you said, the repetibility. What I think is definitely a negative. I get why there's a few frame drops here and there, because I mean, like sometimes I'm be like, oh god, where is it? And then my frames start dropping. I'm like, no.
In my experience, the frame drops were kind of rare, so I didn't really count that, but that's definitely one that would impact others.
Yeah, but still, nonetheless, both great games.
Next thing I want to talk about is the timeline. With Donkey Kong Bananza, Nintendo really screwed with the DK timeline, but I think Nintendo sort of fixed it. We can definitely say that this is a prequel to Mario Odyssey, but some people might be asking, well, how is this a prequel when Cranky Kong kidnapped adult Pauline? Well, there's a bit of a theory surrounding that. In Bananza, Pauline talks about her grandmother a lot, so we can assume Nintendo really wants us to think about the relationships in this game. I believe it's safe to assume that the lady Cranky Kong kidnapped in 1981 is Pauline's grandmother. I'm also choosing to believe that Jumpman wasn't actually Mario, it was Mario's grandfather. While Cranky Kong has mentioned the events of the 1981 arcade game in the past and in Bananza, he has never specifically said the name Mario. So I think it could fit with Lady, Cranky Kong, and Jumpman being the characters of the 1981 game, but still being separate characters from Pauline, DK III, and Mario. It's just their older relatives. We also know that the Donkey Kong Country trilogy takes place before Bananza, considering Diddy Kong and Dixie Kong tell Pauline about their previous adventures with DK. Plus, that would mean after K-Rool's defeat in Donkey Kong Country 3, K-Rool and the Kremling crew headed to the planet core to find the Banandium root. Now, what about Donkey Kong Country Returns and Tropical Freeze? Where do these fit into the timeline? I don't know. That's a discussion for another day.
Yeah.
Going back, I think there's one more detail in Odyssey that we can use to further prove that Bananza is a prequel to Mario Odyssey. When talking to Pauline in New Donk City, she tells Mario that she was kidnapped by an ape, how it was very traumatic for her, but also helped her become the person she is today. Now, this doesn't exactly line up with Bananza because she was kidnapped by Void Kong, who is a monkey, but we can stretch it a bit to make it work. Void Kong and Poppy Kong are monkeys, but Grumpy Kong is an ape. In the opening scene for Bananza, you can see Grumpy Kong is holding Odd Rock, aka Pauline. So we could say that Void Kong sent Grumpy to do the actual kidnapping, so then technically her statement is still true.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's a bit of a stretch, but it still kind of works. Now, there are many things that kill this theory, and I'm not going to go into all of them because we would be here for a long time. But one of the bigger things that kills this theory is the Mario vs. Donkey Kong games. Where do these fit into any of this? And that I don't know. I think if those games didn't exist, this would be much easier to figure out. Maybe Nintendo will fix it down the line, but for now, we just gotta enjoy what we got.
Yup.
Final thing we want to talk about is the post-game. Mario Odyssey doesn't have a big post-game. After you defeat Bowser on the moon, there really isn't anything left to do story-wise. The closest thing to a story is having to travel to all the previous kingdoms to find Peach and Tiara as tourists, as well as finding moon rocks. Hitting moon rocks will spawn more moons for you to collect in each kingdom. Beating Bowser will also allow you to unlock 3 additional kingdoms, but 2 of these kingdoms do require a specific moon count. Once you have collected 500 moons, you will unlock the final kingdom, Darker Side, which contains the game's final level, Long Journey's End. Beating it unlocks the invisibility cap. After you collect all 999 Power Moons, a new painting of Bowser will appear in the Wedding Hall. Jumping into the painting gives you a harder final boss rematch. After beating this and watching the credits, you'll get one final thank you image from the developers. And Peach's Castle will get a giant black top hat. When you go on top of Peach's Castle and throw Cappy at the glowing metal stub on the top hat, some fanfare will play as the camera zooms out to show Peach's Castle in all its glory while showing a small fireworks show. So, what happens when you 100% complete Super Mario Odyssey? And by 100% completion, I mean collecting 999 moons, 880 unique moons, plus buying the remaining 119 moons, 41 caps, 42 outfits, 1,000 purple coins, 82 music tracks, 43 Odyssey souvenirs, and capturing all 52 captures. You will be rewarded with a small golden star on your save file. The Odyssey balloon also turns solid gold. If that isn't enough, you can also go for rank 50 in Luigi's Balloon World. Reaching rank 50 turns Luigi's colored balloons into golden balloons, but that doesn't count towards the story completion. It's just something fun to do on the side. Now let's talk about Bananza's post-game content. This also contains some pretty big spoilers, so another spoiler warning. After defeating King K. Rool, DK and Pauline go their separate ways. Donkey Kong returns to the underground to find more bananas, and Pauline stays in New Donk City to make her greatest dream come true, which is to sing for everyone in the city. 3 months after they go their separate ways, Pauline visits DK in the underground. She tells him that she's doing a live show at City Hall, and she needs to come up with a new song. So she comes back to the underground to get inspiration from the Bananza Elders. Now, I actually want to pause here because there's some secret dialogue you can hear after defeating K. Rool, but you will only hear it if you skip one of the Bananza powers before you defeat the final boss. You're supposed to end the game with 5 Bananza powers, but you get secret dialogue if you defeat K. Rool with 4 or less. After defeating K. Rool with 4 or less Bananza powers, you will get this dialogue after the credits. 1 month after parting ways, Pauline visits DK.
Hey DK, I've been thinking. I'm pretty sure there are some Bananza powers we still need to learn. Let's go see the elders and make sure we learn all the Bananzas.
With that, DK and Pauline headed back to the underground world, and at last learned all the Bananzas. Pauline then resumed her life on the surface, until 2 months later. Then after that, it's just the normal post-game, where you're exploring Ingot Isle, Cave-In, and Pauline comes back to talk about her live show and needing inspiration. I think it's a really cool detail that Nintendo knew people were going to skip over the Bananza powers and just wanted to give them some secret dialogue. Now, continuing talking about the post-game. After you reunite with Pauline, you'll go and visit all of the Banana Elders. The Elders are aware that Pauline is looking for inspiration for a new song, and they each have created a special challenge called a Bananza Rehearsal. A Bananza Rehearsal is basically testing your skills with each Bananza power. Each Bananza Rehearsal will be locked by a specific banana count. You will need a total of 600 bananas to take on every rehearsal. I recommend completely upgrading all your Bananza skills in the skill tree when attempting each rehearsal. Trust me, it helps a lot. When doing the Bananza rehearsals, you can collect 5 balloons in each rehearsal to unlock an exclusive music disc. These music discs cannot be unlocked normally like the others. It isn't necessary, but it is if you want 100% completion. After you beat each rehearsal, you'll unlock a golden skill in the skill tree for that Bananza power. Once you've beaten all the Bananza rehearsals, you'll travel back to the planet core where you will once again meet up with the Great Harmonial. The Great Harmonial guarantees that he can help Pauline find her new song, and he invites the duo to jump into his windpipe to find the inspiration she needs. Jumping into the Harmonial's windpipe will lead you to the game's final level, the Harmonial's windpipe. The level is pretty much another Bananza rehearsal, but you will need to have mastered all 5 Bananza powers in order to complete this level. Once again, I cannot recommend enough that you upgrade all your Bananza skills in the skill tree, except for the gold skills. Those aren't as important. Once again, there are 5 balloons you need to collect in this level to unlock an exclusive music disc. After beating the level, Pauline will finally find her new song. You'll return to the planet core and you'll need to talk to the Banandium root. You will be given a new option that says go to the surface. By choosing this option, you will see some new credits where DK and Pauline are falling upwards toward the surface. It's just the main credits, but the camera is flipped so it looks like you're falling up. It's kind of funny looking. After the credits, instead of seeing Pauline performing on the city streets, you'll see her on stage at City Hall performing her new song in her diva dress. You'll also see Donkey Kong in the crowd cheering her on. If you collect the 777 Banandium gems, you will unlock a new image after the credits, where Pauline is still performing her new song, but all of the NPCs from the previous layers will be in the crowd cheering her on alongside DK. So, what happens when you 100% complete Donkey Kong Bananza? And by 100% completion, I mean collecting 1,000 bananas, 777 unique bananas, plus buying the remaining 223 bananas, 696 fossils, 17 sets of breeches, 10 ties, 37 fur colors, 1 helmet, 27 Pauline outfits, 110 music tracks, and completely maxing out the skill tree. You will be rewarded with 3 big stars on your save file, and the red balloons will now take the shape of Donkey Kong's head, just like they did in the original Donkey Kong Country. So, with everything we've just talked about, when it comes to Odyssey versus Bananza, in our opinion, the winner is Donkey Kong Bananza.
Yeah, Bananza.
Now, don't get us wrong. We are in no way calling Mario Odyssey a bad game. Bananza and Odyssey were both absolute thrill rides. Both games are so full of joy and adventure. They have beautiful visuals, amazing music, incredible gameplay. There's just so much to enjoy. They also both have a lot of replayability. I'm definitely adding Donkey Kong Bananza to my yearly replay list alongside Super Mario Odyssey.
Oh, yeah. Alrighty, so that's going to be the end of episode 10, and we will see you all in the next one. Peace.
See ya.